Imagine a man so mysterious that people believed he could not be killed. A wandering peasant with no royal blood, yet kings and queens trusted him with their lives. Some called him a holy healer, others called him a dangerous fraud. But one thing was certain. Before the fall of the Russian Empire, there was Rasputin, and his story is stranger than fiction. A peasant from nowhere. In the frozen wilderness of Siberia, in a small village called Pokrovskaya, a boy was born in 1869. His name was Grigori Rasputin. He was not noble, he was not educated. In fact, he could barely read. Yet from a young age, villagers noticed something unusual about him. Rasputin had intense, hypnotic eyes. People claimed he could sense things others could not. But in his early life, Rasputin was not a holy man. He drank heavily, he fought, he lived like many rough young men of rural Russia. Then something happened that changed everything. The vision. Around the age of 27, Rasputin claimed to have experienced a powerful religious vision. After this moment, he abandoned his old life. He began wandering across Russia as a religious pilgrim. He visited monasteries, he prayed for hours, and slowly people began believing he possessed spiritual powers. Some said he could heal sickness. Others believed he could see into the soul. Soon, whispers about this strange mystic began spreading far beyond Siberia, and eventually those whispers reached the royal palace. At the time, Russia was ruled by the Tsar Nicholas II, but inside the palace there was a secret few people knew. The Tsar's young son Alexei suffered from hemophilia, a deadly disease that prevented blood from clotting. Even a small injury could kill him. Doctors could do very little. The royal family lived in constant fear. Then someone suggested bringing Rasputin to the palace. At first, the idea seemed ridiculous, a wandering peasant helping the royal heir, but desperation can make people try anything. When Rasputin first met the royal family, something remarkable seemed to happen. During one of Alexei's painful bleeding episodes, Rasputin prayed beside the boy, and somehow the bleeding slowed. The child recovered. To the royal family, it felt like a miracle. From that moment forward, Rasputin became extremely close to the royal household, especially to the Empress Alexandra. She believed Rasputin was the only man capable of saving her son, and this belief would change Russian history forever. Outside the palace walls, rumors were spreading. Many nobles despised Rasputin. They saw him as a corrupt outsider manipulating the royal family. Stories spread about wild parties, drunken behavior, and secret influence over government decisions. Whether true or exaggerated, Rasputin's reputation grew darker each year. To many Russians, he became a symbol of everything wrong with the empire, and powerful enemies began asking a dangerous question: what if Rasputin was removed? Now, here is where the story becomes almost unbelievable. The man who plotted against Rasputin believed killing him would save Russia. But Rasputin would not die easily. The assassination plot. In December 1916, a group of Russian nobles decided to act. Among them was Prince Felix Yusupov. They invited Rasputin to Yusupov's palace late one night. The plan was simple: poison him. They served him cakes and wine filled with deadly cyanide. But something shocking happened. Rasputin ate the food, he drank the wine, and nothing happened. The poison seemed to have no effect. Panic spread among the conspirators. The Night of Terror. Realizing the poison had failed, Yusupov pulled out a pistol and shot Rasputin. The mystic collapsed. The conspirators believed it was over, but minutes later, Rasputin suddenly opened his eyes. He stood up and began staggering towards the door. The terrified conspirators fired again. This time, Rasputin finally fell. To make sure they were truly dead, they wrapped his body and threw it into the freezing Neva River. When Rasputin's body was discovered days later, rumors exploded across Russia. Some believed he had supernatural powers, others saw his death as the fall of a corrupt influence. But what many people did not realize was this: removing Rasputin would not save the Russian Empire. Within just a year, the empire itself collapsed. The Russian Revolution ended centuries of royal rule, and the Romanov dynasty disappeared forever. Rasputin remains one of history's most mysterious figures. Was he a true mystic, a clever manipulator, or simply a man caught in the chaos of a dying empire? Historians still debate the answer, but one thing is certain: the story of Rasputin shows how fear, belief, and power can intertwine in ways that change the course of history. When leaders place blind trust in mysterious power instead of wisdom and accountability, it can shake entire nations. Influence without understanding is a dangerous force.